What do you hear? What do you say? Today we are looking at the game titled Another Crab's Treasure, which is a Sekiro/Souls-like created by the correctly named Aggro Crab Studios. But since we're looking at a Souls-like, we must look at the objective gold standard of a Souls-like. Okay, I will clarify what everyone else thinks the objective for a Souls-like is. But why is this game the gold standard? Is it the open world that's filled with copy-pasted bosses? Or perhaps it is that Miyazaki forces you to talk to a woman in order to get a key item? Well, much like a true Japanese salaryman, I have cracked the numbers, and as everyone has expected, it is because of two major pieces that this is considered the best Souls-like. Because of A, the Tibia Mariner, and that in this game, there are multiple crustaceans within the game, not just one big crab. Oh, there's multiple. So logic dictates a game filled with crustaceans will be just as good, and I am happy to report that this is the case. Now, intro to the game. We play as the hermit crab Krill. The game starts off with our shell being repossessed for not paying taxes on services not yet rendered. Keep a note of that in your memory bank for later. It is very important. So, Krill must make his way to the big city in order to pay his taxes and get his shell back. But as he finds out, some of the sea life are infected with gunk and are hostile like zombies, or hollowed, and Krill grabs a plastic fork off the ocean floor and has to defend himself. See, even in the beginning, you can see the game's biggest themes, that you should always drop your trash into the ocean. See, without trash in the ocean, how would Krill ever defend himself? Well, the answer is clear. He simply couldn't. The sea life needs your help. I need you to go to your local dollar store, buy all the plastic cutlery you can find, and make your way to your closest ocean or body of water and dump it all in. Remember, the crabs are counting on you. Now, what caused the gunk? Next question. Though, sadly, we still don't get our shell back, and it causes Krill to go into an even bigger city, where it seems that Rick Harrison has obtained his shell, and will only trade it for a very nice buried treasure. From this point, the game branches off with you having to find a couple pieces of a treasure map in order to get the treasure, and thus your shell. Before this, the game was mostly linear. At this point, you were allowed to basically branch off out of 3 ways in order to make the treasure map. You know, it's a true mystery why they didn't spend all their budget hiring George R.R. Martin to write some lore involving incest and then creating an open world and copy-pasting the same tree boss 26 times and adding some copy-pasted dungeons underneath the open world and calling it a day. Weird that they didn't do that. Truly mind-boggling. So, what other themes are present in the game? Well, those with their so-called media literacy will tell you that this game is clearly about environment and anti-capitalist rhetoric, as the game basically beats you over the head with it. But that's what they want you to think. Let's put on our aluminum hats and start thinking clearly. This game clearly is about being a full-fledged libertarian. What causes Krill to lose his shell? Taxes. Oh, need more proof? Throughout the game, the main antagonist is actually the #1 predator to a libertarian. A bigger, richer libertarian that has somehow access to a bigger, freer market.
I'd hope it would go without saying that the duty of such a dangerous excavation would fall to the Shellfish Corporation.
Hell, this character even baits you into trespassing on his property so he can legally kill you with castle doctrine. This is Libertarian 101.
Stepped onto my private property without permission. And where I come from, that's a crime called trespassing. I presume you know what we do to trespassers at Shellfish Corp. Inkerton, kill the city folk.
Gladly.
But there are some things missing that the developers could have added to make this even better piece of media and really hammer down the libertarian theme. Like, in no point of the game does Krill ever think of ordering a mail-order Asian carp wife, and never talks about lowering the age of consent at all. These are some of the core pillars of the libertarian philosophy. Come on. Souls-like elements. As a classic Souls-like or Sekiro-like, it has all the elements you've grown to expect and demand. Bonfires, we got sea urchins. Souls currency, based on my content viewer demographic, you guys all actually have it in your balls. It's called microplastics. There's one piece of armor, your shell, which has a rate rating and an armor rating. You can actually parry with this as well if you have a skill unlocked. Now, my favorites are the Funko Pop container and the item you use to clean the Funko Pop container when it gets full. Rings. In this game, they are called stowaways that will increase some of your stats to help with builds. But unlike the Souls genre, it gives you the freedom to stack as many of the same ring as you want as you has open slots. See, that Miyazaki guy, he doesn't give you the freedom to do that. Even more reason of this being a libertarian game. There's one more thing that's clearly missing from every good Souls-like. It's the poison swamp. So this level has a lot of areas that could be considered poison swamps, you know? Remember that fucking piece of shit area with the, those angels that shoot lasers at you in the Dark Souls 3 DLC? Well, this game's got its own little version of that. And just look how beautiful it is. Bosses and enemy placement. The bosses and enemy design are pretty solid with every single crab you could probably ask for. The bosses are quite fun and enjoyable. There's not like a super fight that I like dread fighting or get really extremely excited for in every run. Well, minus Inkerton. Squidborn boss fucks heavily.
I don't want to fight anymore.
But fight ye did, just like me, just like old Lincoln. Two worthless sinners, right where we belong, the bottom of the train.
Though, there's one thing that sets this game apart from actual Souls games. Its ability to take on complex societal issues that Miyazaki is too far scared to introduce to his game. There is very direct racism within the game, and we even have a boss that wields the stick of female empowerment. Come on, Miyazaki, where is this in the next Souls-like? Though, playing through the main story, you end up finding that there's nothing that you ever can do to win back your shell from the pawnbroker. So the only choice left is to kill him. This is the game's true lesson for life. This is the action the developers want you to take in real life. Prime Minister starving your population? Be the reason she has to use an extendable mirror every time she wants to use her car. Don't like the way the world is going? And go live in a cabin and mail some packages. Your life-saving back
What word
surgery
comes to
claim
mind
gets
when
denied?
you think of the
I
Earth?
think you have access to a 3D printer. You know what to do.